Hello, my fellow breakaway thinkers. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another video. It's been a long time since I put a YouTube video out, but I'm back. A lot of things going on in life, and things were pulling at me from multiple directions. So I had to redirect my energy towards other things. But I'm back. I am going to be doing more of these, and I look forward to getting back at it again, and getting some of this knowledge and everything out. So. It's good to be back, but hope everyone is well. All right, so this topic that I want to talk about today, this came to me about, 2 days ago. And this is about discernment, right? I want to speak about discernment because it's with everything that is going on now, especially this past, I'd say probably past week here, there's going to be a lot of discernment needed. We really will have to be on our toes, emotionally, on our toes mentally, because there'll be a lot of things that will be coming at us, from multiple directions, But I came across this actually. I was asleep, and then I woke up at like around 3 o'clock in the morning or so to go to the bathroom, and then this idea comes to me, and I start. It took me like an hour to go back to sleep because I just couldn't stop. My mind was just going and going and going. Of you're gonna say this, you're gonna say that, and I was like, man, you gotta stop. Like I'm trying to go back to sleep. Um, but anyway, it was good that it came. It came to me, and I decided to act on it. When sometimes you get those intuitive hits that comes to you, you gotta take action on it. So I decided that I'm gonna talk about this topic here. So it's about discernment and also about your emotional bank account, is what I would like to call it. So all of us have an emotional bank account, right? We have a certain amount of emotional energy that we keep, right, every single day. And the interesting thing is, this world, there's always going to be something pulling at you. There's always going to be, you're always going to be sold something. When I say something, I'm not talking about physical products. I'm talking about being sold ideas, being sold belief systems, being sold ways of thinking, right? And all those things require some type of emotional energy. You know, every day we're being sold something constantly, something that shapes the way we see ourselves, something that shapes the way we see the world, something that shapes the way we see other people, right? It's a daily thing. Now, the question is, how selective are we about what we're going to purchase? When I say what we're going to purchase, as far as like emotionally, are we as selective about what we emotionally decide to buy? Right? Whether it's certain events that happens in politics, current events, religion, whatever it may be, especially now in the times that we're in, it's going to be very important to pause, to take a pause and ask yourself, is this worth me buying? Right? Is this particular topic worth me investing in emotionally? Right? Because this world is going to force you to pick a side. That's just kind of the polarizing world that we live in. Polarity is very strong, on this earth here. Everything is, for the most part, based on polarity, right? So we have to be strong enough to ask ourselves, that is this something that I'm willing to buy into, right? Because we're going to be forced to do that all the time, right? And we are under no obligation, by the way, to take a side. I'm of the opinion right now that neutrality is going to be the way to go. Being neutral about things, right, helps you to see the bird's eye view, helps you to see things from a bigger perspective. Because as soon as you pick a side, you have to invest emotionally. You have to put your emotion into it. And at that point, you've already lost. Right? This is my opinion anyway. Right? Because when you're emotionally attached to one side or the other, you can't see the whole thing. You can't have a bird's eye view to really see the complete picture of what you're looking at, because you're attached to one side or the other, right? And now that's going to be so important because there'll be so many things that'll be thrown at us. We're going to be bombarded with so much, that we have to be really careful about what we put our emotional energy into, and the people that are around us, right? Because most people are very polar in their thinking, right? And it's not their fault. It's because society has designed us to be that way, right? So there's going to be that temptation to pick a side on something. Let's say a conversation comes up about, I don't know, a war going on in a country somewhere, right? Or a particular situation that happened this past week or something, and it's almost like you're going to be pulled into picking one side or the other. So that temptation is going to be high because your ego, right? The part of you that wants to keep you safe, the part of you that wants an identity, you know, that part of you wants to belong to something, right? Your ego wants to belong to something, wants to identify with something. So, in a way, that's part of our human nature. And when I say human nature, it doesn't mean it can be changed, by the way, but it's just part of our human makeup, right? Where we want to belong to something. So it's easier to pick a side than to look at something, be in the middle, and take a grand look at something, right? And also, not picking a side, evolutionarily has meant danger because if you don't pick a side, you're by yourself, right? So all these things are wired into us. So that leads to this tendency to want to pick one side over the other. But I think neutrality is going to be very important because neutrality helps you to maintain your energy. It helps you to not get emotionally involved in things that, for the most part, you can't really do anything about, right? When you look at these things that are taking place all over the world, I mean, directly, can we really do anything about it? Really, we can't. If we're being honest, we can't really do anything about those things. Um, that doesn't mean that we're powerless, right? It just means that we don't have direct influence on them. Now, the way that we can influence those things is by working on ourselves, by paying attention to how we're showing up in the world, how we're relating to other people, right? Are we showing up with love? Are we showing up with fear? Are we paying attention to what we eat? Are we paying attention to our bodies and the signals that our bodies is giving us? The basic things, the basic daily things that moves the needle in our own lives. Right now, if everybody was to do this, right? If everybody was to place their energy internally, I mean, this world would drastically change. This world would transform in a heartbeat, right? But we tend to think that making a difference, right? Something happens on the world somewhere, and we tend to think that somehow being direct, directly taking action in that thing is the only way to make a difference. Now, if you are in a position where you can do that, um, great, that's great. But most people don't, right? We're so far removed from those situations that we don't have direct influence over them. I mean, we're going up against, juggernauts, whatever it comes to politics and industry and, you know what I'm saying? So we can't do much about these things directly, but what we can do is work on ourselves. What we can do is direct that emotional energy that we will put into talking about those events and picking a side and going back and forth with people, all of that energy could be put into working on ourselves, could be put into bettering ourselves. Um, I see picking a side like stepping into a ring, like in a boxing fight, right? Um, it's like being a spectator, and then you decide because of this one particular issue that comes up, this one particular topic, your ego charges you to go and step into the ring. The thing is, as soon as you step in that ring, you have to fight. You have to put your arms up to defend yourself or fight. You don't have the option of, I'm just going to sit in the corner here in this ring and just mind my own business. No, you have no option because you have stepped into the ring. You have no option but to fight. And I'm the type of person where I don't want to get in the ring. I have no obligation whatsoever to get into that ring to fight, especially on something that doesn't benefit me. I'm not obligated to do that. And I'm speaking to you as as you're listening to this, I'm going to tell you also, you are under no obligation to pick a side. I don't care what the issue is. You don't have to pick a side. This idea that you have to pick a side is something that comes from society. You do not have to do that, you know, and it's going to be hard because, again, society will want to force you to pick a side. But if you can resist that temptation to pick a side, you're able to see things a little more clearer. That has been my experience. That has been something that I've noticed. And that will be so important now. I mean, the world has always been this way, right? There's always been something that will pull at us. It's always been like that. But now, these times that we're in now, it's even going to be more, there's even going to be more of that. It's going to be more intense. This is not a prophecy or anything. This is just the times that we're in. And if you're somebody who your emotional bank account is low because you got enough to deal with in your own life, kids and all these responsibilities, you have bills to pay and taxes and the car breaks down and arguments in your relationships, and a lot of us don't have enough currency in our emotional bank account to be taking on other things, especially other things that don't benefit us. That is the key. It's one thing if you're taking on something emotionally that would lead to your growth, but if it's something that you don't have any control over it doesn't have any positive influence on your life. Like, why would we want to do that? And people are doing that all the time. It amazes me, to see that. Um, so yeah, I think we just have to be very careful. We have to be very selective about what we decide to engage in, what we decide to engage in with our thoughts, what we decide to engage in with our emotions, right? We don't have to speak all the time on things, right? If you're surrounded by people who they're talking about something and you feel that temptation within you to talk, you don't have to. And yes, you may look some kind of way and people may look at you some kind of way. Who cares? You don't have to engage, right? You have the power within you to make that decision at that moment that I am not engaging in this because there is no benefit to me doing that. You have the power to do that yourself. Um, so yeah, what else did I wanted to speak of when it comes to that? Oh yeah, okay. This one came to me. That's another part of it. Another aspect of this that I want to speak on as well is this idea of your ego, which is in my belief, our egos is our child, the child that is within us, because everybody has a child and an adult within them, right? This is my belief, right? We all have those two things in us. We all have a child in us and we all have an adult within us. I see the ego as the child, right? The ego is the one that is interested in stability. It wants safety. It wants security. It wants to belong, right? That's the ego. And then also, this ego is the same one that would throw tantrums and get frustrated and, act a fool and all of those things, right? So the things that we see, in children, basically, like if you're a parent watching this and you have a child, all the different spectrums of behavior and all the things that you see in children, that's classic ego right there, right? And all of us have it, so that's the child within you is your ego. The adult within you is your higher self, right? That part of you that, um, the grandest version of yourself, let me put it that way. That part of you that sees beyond the limitations, that sees beyond the constraints, that sees beyond the trauma and the drama and the fighting and the picking sides. There's a part of you that goes beyond all of that. That is the adult within you, which is your higher self. So I look at it this way. Your ego, right, is the one that is going to be tempted to want to pick a side. That's going to be tempted to want to engage emotionally in something. Now, it is your job as the adult, your higher self. It is the job of your higher self to step in and say, hey, nah, we're not doing this. Okay. That's where your higher self, your adult, steps in and say, listen, I know you want to engage. I know this thing is emotionally charging. It gives you a dopamine hit, right? It feels good to want to be a part of something. So you just want to join in and give your 2 cents and pick a side and go all in on this is the side I'm on. And that is pure ego, right? Now the adult has to come in and say, listen, I know that is what you want to do, but I don't have the emotional bandwidth to do that. It doesn't benefit us collectively, right? And when I say us, I'm talking about you, all the aspects of you. It is of no benefit to us to emotionally invest in this particular topic because we don't have the emotional currency to do that. And even if you did have the emotional currency to do that, do you have to do that? Right? Do you have to draw from your emotional bank account and put it towards this particular topic? You don't. Because if that's all you're going to keep doing, I mean, you're going to drain yourself, you know, especially now, this era that we're about to enter. I know I keep saying that, but I'm saying that for a reason because the signs are all there. We're about to enter an era that, I'm not going to be doom and gloom here, but I'm going to say it's going to be a great transition for our world. Our world is changing in so many ways. And that change is going to affect everybody, every single person, right? And it's going to be a little chaotic. Let's be real. It's going to. I look at it like this house, this world. I look at it like a building that has been around for a long time now. This building is getting old. There's getting cracks in it, and it's just getting old. It's just not working anymore, right? This building needs to be demolished so that a new building can be built, right? Now, what does? Hold on here. Let me let this FedEx truck pass by. So, what does demolition look like when you're trying to demolish something? It looks chaotic, doesn't it? I mean, we're talking about walls being broken down. It's noisy. It's just pure chaos when you see a demolition. We're talking bombs. Again, I'm not talking about this in a physical sense. So I'm not saying some bombs are going to be thrown. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just using this as an analogy. Whenever there's a demolition taking place, it is madness, lots of noise, lots of destruction. Right? That is how I see it. There's going to be a lot of changes and a lot of things that are going to pull at us emotionally. It's not going to be a smooth ride because all of us know deep down that this world is just not working anymore. All of us know it. We know it deep within ourselves that this is not it. Right? The creator, the source, the one that is the creator of all things. I don't think this was the plan. Um, Again, I don't have all the answers and I don't know. But deep inside, we feel this thing within us like something is wrong with this world, right? And something needs to change. So that change is going to come. Now, the question is, are we going to be able to emotionally ground ourselves with all the changes that are coming? Are we going to be able to hold still? Are we going to be able to not let all the chaos blow us away, right? Like a tree that is rooted firmly on the ground. No matter what comes, whatever the wind is, whatever hail, whatever, that tree is still rooted to the ground. And that is how we have to be. We have to be rooted or find a way to be rooted, regardless of what comes, regardless of all the storms, all the chaos and the confusion and the arguments and all of that. Emotionally, we have to be stable. If not, we're not going to make it through that transition. Because if anything can blow you away, then I mean, you don't stand a chance. If anything can blow you away mentally, if anything can blow you away emotionally, I don't know, man. You don't stand a chance, honestly, right? And I'm speaking to myself as I say this. That as I'm saying all these things, that emotional stability will be so crucial, very, 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 very crucial in the times that we're in. Now, how do you do that? I guess that's going to be the question. How do you maintain that emotional strength, right? You maintain that by always taking a look at yourself, always examining yourself and asking that question: does this particular thing require me to invest emotionally? If it does, go ahead, right? If it does, great. But 99% of the time, the overwhelming majority of the time, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like I was talking about previously with us being sold something, watching the news, right? You're being sold fear. You're being sold confusion. You're being sold negativity. Ads you can watch sometimes are selling you things. Movies you're watching are selling you things, right? So constantly the world is selling you something. It's like, here, look, I got this on sale here. I got doubt on sale. I got fear on sale. I got negativity on sale. I got confusion on sale. You want to buy? Do you want to buy? Do you want to buy? And your ego's going, yeah, I want to buy. I want to buy. It's on sale? Yeah, sure. I want to buy. That's your ego. That's where you, the adult, that higher version of you has to come in like, no. No. We're not buying that. We aren't doing this because this is not going to benefit us. It can be a tough thing to do. I know, but we have to. We have to do that. We have to. This is so crucial. I know I keep repeating myself because I want to get the message across to you guys to really understand how crucial that's going to be. And it's like with a child, right? When a child is gets overly excited about something and they're acting up as an adult, you got to step in and be like, hold on, right? So it's the same thing, but it's going on internally. That's the difference, right? So not only do we have this external battle going on of whether we, we gotta go, should we pick a side or not, and all these things are coming at me. We're also battling with ourselves internally, also when it comes to this, right? As within, so without. So just that observation, just the mere fact that you can observe that that's going on in your body, even that alone is amazing. That you can even recognize that that's taking place within you. I mean, that's not the ultimate, but that's a step. If you can even recognize that that's happening, man, you're on your way there. You are on your way there. And then of course you want to build from there, not just recognize it, but be able to be selective, to be able to make that decision in that moment, whether you're going to engage emotionally or not. But anyway, that is the message I have for you today. I don't want to speak on this, speak too much about it. I think I got the message across. I know somebody's going to benefit from this. So if you're watching this and you know somebody who will benefit from seeing this video, go ahead and share it with them. Let them know, because this is something that we need. These are the type of messages that in the times that we're in, we need to hear things like this. We really need to hear things like this. We need more and more people to be in the middle lane, because this left, right, this polarity thing, man, is destroying us. It's brought us too many problems as a human race. It's caused so much mayhem. It has its benefits, right? Like with anything. But I think we've not been able to use it productively, and it's caused a lot of issues. War. I mean, even war, like there wouldn't be any war if there wasn't for polarity, right? Because if you don't have two sides, then what is there to fight about? Nothing. The reason why there's fights is because people are picking sides, So anyway, love you all. Hopefully y'all make it a great day today. If you're watching this and you want to know other ways that I can be of service to you, because besides doing these videos and things like that, there are other ways that, I make myself available and to humanity. Take a look in the description. And if you are resonating with me, and if you're resonating with just my energy in general, and you want to know other ways to work with me, take a look in the comments, and let's see if we can work together. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. Once again, love you all. Make it a great day. And like I said, your emotions are everything. It's going to be key. So protect your emotions. Protect your emotions as much as you possibly can, because we're going to need to do that. We're going to need all the emotional energy that we can muster, or that we can cultivate. All right. Love you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care now. Bye.